What you just saw was me getting ready for work, actually, instead of getting up 5 minutes before work starts, because I have a meeting at 9 every day. And I usually, when I do home office, get up at like 8:50, brush my teeth, jump on my chair, and that's it. I look disgusting. I am nasty, and today that's not the case because today I actually got ready. So 2025 is over and it was definitely an interesting year. I did a lot of things, and over the past few weeks I've been kind of reflecting and looking back on everything that I did. I know this isn't the kind of video that I would usually make, but I still want to take my time to share my experiences. The good and the bad. I want to talk about my journey as an artist last year, as well as all the other things that I did, and kind of look back and see how I can learn from my experiences. I feel like a lot of times it's really hard to look back on all of the things you did and all of the mistakes you made, especially. But I think that's the only way that you can really grow as a person. But of course, it's also important to look back on all the good things that happened. So let's start with that. Alright, first I will go over all the things that are not art related, so here goes. For one, I started developing an app, and I've talked about this in a couple of my videos, but I've never really gone into it in detail. So I can't tell you, unfortunately, what the app is, but it was actually the idea of my boyfriend and one of his friends. And I decided to join in because I know how to do software development, so I can actually build the app. The project has been going on for, I would say, 3 years already. In 2024, I decided to learn some more stuff about UI and UX because that's always kind of interested me. And to get some practice, I decided to do an app design. But I still swore to myself that I would not develop the app because developing an app just takes a lot of time and it's a very tedious process because a lot can go wrong. But as I said before, I kind of want to use the app myself. So in the end, I still started developing it, what can I say? And I actually kind of enjoyed it. Also, when you develop something, it's really cool to see like the progress and to test something out and be like, I did that. That's just a feeling of accomplishment. Something unrelated, but also nice thing that happened last year is that I managed to play a lot of golf during the summer. I think I've never mentioned this here, but I used to play competitive golf in Austria nationally. And I was at a pretty good level back then, I would say, and I feel like this year is actually the first year that I managed to get back onto that level, because the thing is, you have to kind of practice a lot to maintain your level, so I kind of got a bit worse over the years, and I feel like this year I finally somehow got back to that level, and I hope that I can keep it up, obviously. And now on to the more exciting stuff of 2025, my journey as an artist. So one of my New Year's resolutions for 2025 was to draw every day. And I actually managed to keep that up until like October, I would say, which is not the whole year. So technically I didn't keep to my resolution, but it's still an accomplishment, I would say, because that's still like 270 days of drawing straight. That's a lot of time, and that's a lot of time to improve, if you ask me. So I filled out a lot of sketches in my sketchbook, and I thought we could go over some of them just very quickly. And just the ones that I'm actually willing to show you, because some of them are so bad that it's kind of embarrassing. I also decided to try out polymer clay, which you obviously already know, hopefully. If you're new here and you haven't seen my polymer clay videos, go check them out. So I had the idea to do it because I wanted to make like a self-made birthday present for my boyfriend. And I mean, I've already drawn him something before. I've made him a shirt, like a print-on-demand shirt, but still it counts. So I thought I kind of couldn't do that again, so I had to come up with something else, and polymer clay seemed like a fun thing to do. How hard can it be, really? So I made him this figure of our cat Bob in an onsen, like this small like onsen hot tub thing that you find in Japanese hotels. And let me tell you, it was so humbling. I did not expect it to be that hard, and I also bought the wrong kind of clay. So I bought one that was really hard to work with, and I didn't have any like pasta machine or anything back then to condition my clay so it gets more soft, and also to mix my colors. So mixing the colors alone took like 6 hours, and my hands hurt so bad the next few days. I actually had golf practice, but I couldn't go because my hands hurt so bad from mixing the clay. I decided to practice some more. I made some G-cover figures because I thought, if you can't get any merch here in Austria, why not just make it myself? And what resulted from that were Drunk Uncle Chikawa and Lobotomized Hachiware. But then my third attempt was a lot better, so I guess you can really see the improvement here. It's so funny. I will keep those forever, probably. Anyways, I obviously started a YouTube channel, which was also a positive thing, I would say, even though barely anyone watches me. Same actually goes for my Instagram page. I started it back in April, I think, or March, and I haven't posted there in like 3 months. I think it's been like since October. That's a totally different story. I don't have a lot of followers, but I feel like the small community that I've built on Instagram is actually kind of nice and kind of supportive. I've heard that artists on Instagram can be really toxic, but I haven't really experienced that. I think all the people are super supportive and super nice, and yeah, they're all making like really good progress, and that also kind of motivates me. So yeah, I think I'm really happy with the small community that's on there. As for YouTube, I just think filming videos and editing them is kind of fun. And also talking to a camera has really helped me be more confident in general, and also in my work, for example. I feel like I'm just doing so much better in meetings, and I just get so much less nervous when I have to present something, which I didn't really think about that when I started YouTube. I think it makes sense that talking a lot obviously improves your confidence, improves your speaking skills and all that kind of stuff, but I never really thought it would have such an impact on my work as well. It's always kind of nice to see something from a different area of your life positively impacting something else. I think that's always a cool thing to experience. Also, I know I keep mentioning Redbubble on my YouTube channel, which I have a shop there. If you didn't know, go check it out. I never update it. And it's basically dead, like 2 people go there a month. But yeah, last year I actually made 20 euros from it, which is, I guess you could say, the first money I ever made as an artist, so I count that as an achievement. Another positive thing that happened towards the end of 2025 was that I started helping my boyfriend with his video game that he's developing. More about that later. But yeah, again, as I said before, I decided to get more into UI and UX, and I saw another opportunity to practice by helping my boyfriend with his game UI, which is actually a lot harder than I expected. So, because when you design an app or a website, there are kind of guidelines that you can follow. But when you design a game UI, it's just way more open, I would say. And while that's good because you have more creative freedom, it's also very overwhelming because you have more creative freedom. So actually coming up with a concept and like a consistent design is just way harder in my opinion. But yeah, I think it's been a nice challenge so far. And I've also started helping him with some character art, just because I can also practice drawing and people will actually see my art, which is always good. So anyways, this will now be a shameless plug for my boyfriend's video game. The game is called Veiled Shadows and it's a JRPG style game that's inspired by the popular Persona franchise, or in this case specifically Persona 4. It's supposed to be more of a retro kind of PlayStation 2 or PlayStation 3 kind of vibe, and it's set somewhere in the 2000s in a fictional town in Japan. It's a mystery game where you play the role of a police station intern and you try to uncover the mystery that happened in this small fictional Japanese town. On your way you encounter a lot of friends, you get to do a lot of fun activities, forge bonds with them. So the game has mystery, interesting characters, and a lot of fun. It's currently still in development. There will be a Steam page soon. I'm actually working with him on that. There is a Discord server that you can join. He has Patreon. He has an Instagram page. He also does TikTok, so go follow him on all of his socials. I think he has a YouTube channel as well. I'm not even sure. I will link everything somewhere. If it's not on screen somewhere right now, it's probably in the caption. Go follow him. Go check it out. If you like Persona, definitely go check it out. And if you don't like Persona or you've never heard of it, go check out both his games and the Persona games, because both of them are nice. Okay, now back to the video. Okay, now all of that stuff being said, not everything was positive last year. I talked about all the things that I did, but actually balancing them while still working a regular job is actually not easy at all. It requires a lot of self-discipline and planning, which both of those I'm not really good at. I almost overworked myself a couple of times and I had to step back from certain things sometimes, just so I could kind of get my back together. I took a break from app development over the summer as well as the past 2 months, and I stopped drawing regularly back in October. And I also haven't practiced polymer clay since Christmas. There are only so many hours in a day, and kind of cramping everything that you want to do in there is really hard and maybe also not the best thing to do. I would also spend so much time on my phone doing nothing or getting distracted some other way. Don't get me wrong, sometimes it's nice to relax, but I think when you get carried away or it just turns into bed rotting or whatever, it's not a good thing. I don't think managing a lot of hobbies while also working is impossible, but I just haven't figured out how to do it yet. Now this actually brings me to 2026 and what I want to do differently this year. I've already mentioned one thing that was bothering me last year, which is my phone. I think a lot of people probably feel the same way, that their phone is more of a distraction than it is useful. And for me that felt especially true, because if you want to do a lot of stuff, just spending like 1 hour a day on your phone just takes time away from you that you could spend being productive or relaxing and just getting your mind off things, like in general, like doing nothing for once. I already started limiting my time on Instagram last December, which already drastically reduced my screen time. I set my screen time for 30 minutes a day on Instagram and my boyfriend had the password, so whenever I wanted to extend it, I had to ask him, which I think it only happened once when I had to make a post. But other than that, I think I've always kept it. But still, then I would go on my phone to check my emails or, I don't know, do something else like completely unnecessary, scroll through Reddit or whatever. And yeah, or whenever I was at work doing something kind of complicated, my first instinct would not be to try and focus on said task, but to grab my phone and just do something. Which I don't know the science behind that, but I'm 99% sure that's not a good thing and that's not normal. I actually heard that there is a trend on TikTok at the moment where people are kind of getting rid of their smartphones, or at least trying to, and switching them out with flip phones. I just realized it makes me sound really old when I say, oh, I heard there's a trend on TikTok. I'm only 25, by the way. Anyway, so guess what? I got a flip phone actually. I don't have it with me right now, which, I mean, come on. I can be in a room without my phone. I'm recording on my iPhone. I still have my iPhone right now, but I can be in a room without my phone, like functioning as a phone. That's crazy. I haven't looked at my messages today. If you had told me half a year ago that I would come this far, I would not have believed you. I haven't been on Instagram since last Saturday, okay? It's Friday. That's crazy. When has that happened? Like, not in the past 10 years. Now, I might make another video about the phone. I see a lot of people making these kinds of videos, so I would kind of feel like copying them. But I think, I don't know, maybe I will just make an update video on the phone at some point. Because I also ordered a case for it, and once that arrives, I want to kind of decorate it cutely, because I've seen that people are doing that. And I'm really excited, and I want to make like a phone charm because I miss those. Come on, why are we not using those anymore? Yeah, once I have that, I might make a video, but it might take some more time to arrive because it's from Korea and it takes like a month to ship to Austria. So it might be middle of February once I get it. Who knows? So one more thing I said earlier was that it's hard to balance my hobbies with my job. So I kind of wanna organize my life in a way. And I've tried like planning my days before, but I've never really found a method that works for me. So I've tried like actually planning at what time I want to do what, but I never really managed to keep to my schedule. So everything would be delayed and then I wouldn't be able to do stuff, and it just puts unnecessary pressure on myself, I feel like. But what has always kind of worked were to-do lists. Just plain and simple, write down what I want to do on that day and then try to do everything. If I don't manage to do everything, that's fine. If I do, that's even better. I can reward myself in some way, I guess. So I kind of started doing that again. In the past, I've never really kept to it, so I would do it for like a week and then stop again. But now I wanna keep it up. So my boyfriend gave me this cute Chiikawa planner thing. First of all, it's a calendar, which is good because then I don't need to use my phone as a calendar. And it also has some pages in the back that I can use to take notes. And for now, I'm just using those to write down my to-dos for the day. So far, I've done it for a couple of days. And while I haven't always finished all of my to-dos, I feel like it has already kind of helped me because I just know what I want to do that day and I don't have to pressure myself to do something that I didn't plan for that day. And yeah, so far it's been great actually. I also want to fix my sleep schedule, which is like a long-running goal of mine. So until now my sleep schedule has been kind of messed up. I go to bed at like 1 in the morning and have to get up at like 7:30. And I want to get like 7 to 8 hours of sleep, but also go to bed before midnight because I heard that that's better for your health. So maybe I will also manage to do that. Maybe I can get up early in the morning and actually do some stuff before work. That would be great. Because I think then you just have a more chill start into the morning instead of having to get up, getting ready and having to catch a bus, or otherwise you will be late for work. So yeah, maybe that also works out, hopefully. Hello? Do you have anything to say? Hello? No comment. There are a lot of things that I want to do this year, and I've set myself some goals that I think are realistic to attain. I feel like just telling someone about your goals puts a little bit of pressure on yourself, and maybe that's enough pressure for me to be able to actually reach my goals, because otherwise they might just be in your head and then you might just not do them. But when you tell someone about them, people have expectations of you and you want to fulfill those expectations, don't you? Anyways, this was kind of a different video than usual. I hope you still liked it. Tell me about your own plans in the comments below. Do you have any resolutions for 2026? I know it's already, by the time this video goes up, it's probably end of January. I'm sorry. I'm kind of late to the party, but I'm a busy person, so I don't always have time to film and write scripts and stuff. But anyways, I hope you liked this video. Leave your comments down below. Like, subscribe, whatever. Check out my boyfriend's video game. He really needs the support, please. It's a really cool game. It's gonna be so fun, and I'm so excited for when he actually finishes it, and I'm so excited to participate with all the artwork and the UI, and I hope it's gonna be good, so check it out. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next one.